Okay, now, Dr. Javed Naki, your first presentation at the end, you quoted Allama Iqbal, concluded your presentation. That reminded me of another couplet by him. Khudi ko kar buland itna. Khudi means self. Elevate yourself to such a level कि खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे कि बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. Before giving a wish, even God may ask him, what do you want? So that is very relevant to the youth of Ladakh, because this is an event pertaining to the youth of Ladakh. I think believe in yourselves. I always tell my students, my young Ladakhi youth, believe in yourselves and go as far as you can. From there you can see more. This is, I think, the crux of what the poet has said. खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से ये पूछे बता तेरी ख्वाहिश क्या है. Now, I would like to highlight a few important points here. One is the belief in self. The other one is respect for time. And I always give a speech on time. What is time? Have you ever thought of it? What is time? Time passes. Is there anything that is flowing like water? Is there anything that passes like wind? But time passes. You feel that time is passing. What is it that moves around you? There's nothing that passes. It's the successive existence in the moments that you see in your life. So time is a peculiar resource. Someone has said, time is a peculiar resource. No matter how much more you want, there is no more of it. So it's a resource. Resource is something which is available for doing a productive work. So it's very important. The other thing is about language, the importance of language for the youth of Ladakh. I would highlight this. Language is the vehicle in which you can ride to any destination you want. So you must have a good language, no matter what language it is. It could be Ladakhi, it could be Urdu, Hindi, it could be English. But you should be trying to be good at one language at least. When I was in school, 3 languages used to be taught. Modi, Urdu, English. I was good at none of these, when I finished school. With great difficulty, I passed out matriculation with 53% marks. Then it was quite a bit. But now nothing less than 70% can be good marks. So language is something which should be learned in infancy, in childhood, in primary school. If you don't learn a language in your infancy, you will never have a spontaneity in that language. I was one of them who had no spontaneity in any of these languages when I finished school. I was neither good at Ladakhi, nor good at Urdu, nor good at Hindi, nor good at English. We used to mug up everything, in school. Everything was mugged up and we went to exams and we passed the exam. I remember when I was in the 7th standard, there was a Kashmiri teacher teaching us history. In the class of about 35 people, he said, Bolo Rana Sangha kaun tha? We used to mug up things called passing exams, Rana Sangha, Chittorgarh, and so on. I remember I had mugged up something like Rana Sangha and Chittorgarh and so on. I said there must be some relationship between the two. So I raised my hand because no one knew any answer to this. Everyone was blank. So he was surprised with Rana Sangha being taught in the class every day. I raised my hand and I said there must be a relationship between the two, Rana Sangha and Chitor. I said, Jinab, Rana Sangha Chitor ka baap tha. Everyone clapped, but they thought I had given an answer, good answer. When the teacher said, Ullu ka patla bekho, then they realized it was also wrong. So that is the kind of education we used to have in schools in Ladakh, of those days. And when I passed out from Ladakh, my ambition as a school student was to become a scientist, physicist. I had a fascination for physics. I said I'll become a scientist after going through university and doing a PhD. And when I finished my schooling, a tragedy diverted me from science to engineering. Because in engineering we used to get loans and scholarships. So I went for engineering. A faith, my ambition was to become a scientist. But ambition is ambition. Not all ambitions are fulfilled. So I went to engineering, poor language, and it was very difficult in the first 2 years of engineering. Then I started learning English, which was the medium of instruction. I used to listen to BBC, I used to listen to Voice of America, All India Radio, and learn some English. There was a Kashmiri boy who was brought up in London. His father was a professor there. I think it was Ashok Retd. Beautiful English he used to speak. I used to dream talking to him. So, fortunately, one day we landed up in the same tent as in NCC camp. Ashok Rana and I only in one tent. So I started learning English from him. I still remember the way he used to pronounce it. For example, for AIR, I used to say IAS. All Ladakhis used to say IAS. And he used to say air. You are speaking wrong. Air. And like this, I used to dream talking to people like this. And I think by the third year, I learned some English and some proficiency, but not spontaneity in the language. Even now I feel that I have no spontaneity in my language, any of the language, including English. I have to compose the sentences in my head and speak out. Because I didn't learn any language when I was young. So the importance of language is very, you must know the importance of language, because without language you will get nowhere. Since you are at the formative stage, you have to go through various examinations and so on. Language you must try to improve as far as possible, and particularly the language of your medium of instruction. And today I'm fairly good at English, but spontaneity is not there, because I didn't learn this while I was young. So I have a written speech which I wanted to deliver, because today's science, it has to be exact. So I thought I should note down some important points so that it could stay with you. If necessary, I can pass it on to Mr. Tashi, so he can even circulate this. But I will shorten it and then speak out from my written thing. Now I had listed a few topics for delivery at this event. The first one was is it okay? Is that better? The topics that I had selected for this, first one was prevailing socio-economic situation in Ladakh. It's okay now. I think you can hear it. The prevailing socio-economic situation of Ladakh. I'll skip this because there is no much time. Importance of human resource development for Ladakh. The challenge of rising unemployment among the educated youth of Ladakh. I think I shall start from there. And then after that I had listed steps required to address the lingering challenges of Ladakh. The mantra of success in life. This is my belief. Correlation between hard work, happiness and success. And my request to the Ladakh UT administration to build an incentive for writing the national level examinations and tests for competitive tests. So these are enlisted for the benefit of the youth of Ladakh. Now, there is a limited development potential in agriculture and industry in Ladakh, you know that. On the agricultural land, we have all constructed residential houses, hotels and so on. So agriculture, there is not much of scope in agriculture in Ladakh. There is not much of scope for industries also in Ladakh because the markets are distant, the product markets are distant. Raw materials are scanty. So therefore, we have to concentrate on the tertiary sector, which is services, and the need for investment in human capital, human resource development, so that the Ladakhis become good human resource and compete for good jobs, not only in Ladakh, but outside Ladakh in the country and abroad. This is the need of the hour. I've been emphasizing this to the UT administration of Ladakh. I'm emphasizing this to the colleges, and the university also emphasize this. Now, importance of human resource development for a place like Ladakh cannot be overemphasized. Ladakh has a population of 3 lakhs as per the census of 2011. Now, this population is spread over an area of 59,000 square kilometers. But 90% of the geographical area is not amenable to any meaningful economic activity. And therefore, we have to concentrate on development of human resources. What this event is all about, the development of human resources in Ladakh. The region's population is growing at a very fast rate. You know how much? 3.6% per annum. It's very high. Every year it is growing at a rate of 3.6%. It was 75,000 only in 1951. It is now 3 lakhs as per the 2011 census, and growing still very fast. But the livelihood avenues in different sectors of Ladakhi economy being extremely limited, it is unable to keep pace with the growing population. Therefore, in order that the economic opportunities keep pace with the growth in population, planners are required to give more accent on development of human resources, so that the Ladakhi youth are enabled to compete for decent jobs outside in the country, in government sector, private sector, institutions and enterprises. Now, besides, even for ensuring a broad-based public participation in economic expansion, general literacy and a comprehensive healthcare facilities are important for any economy. Education and health are intrinsically important because a population that doesn't have high literacy and health-wise is wanting is insipid and and morally repugnant. Morality apart, even for good participation in the economy, one has to be highly educated, highly skilled, and fortunately in the last few decades, Ladakh has done well in general literacy and healthcare facilities. The 2011 census has shown that Leh and Kargil districts are among the topmost literate districts of Jammu and Kashmir, of which Ladakh was a constituent part. Out of 21 districts, Leh was number 1 and Kargil was number 3. That was something to be proud of. Now return to investment in education. I was, while in service as an IAS officer, in 1979 I was selected as one of the 6 Albert Parveen Fellows from all over the world in the Woodrow Wilson School of Princeton University. Now there I studied development economics as principal area of my focus. Development economics then was taught by Nobel laureate Professor Sir Arthur Lewis. He was famous for his 2-sector economic growth model. Now, a Parveen Fellow in Woodrow Wilson School was required to study a research paper on economics and present the outcome of this study to a group of graduate students, very critical graduate students, who would examine how much he has absorbed of this, present it to them for critical appraisal. I chose returns to investment in education as the paper for study. Now this paper was based on the correlation between investment in education and lifetime earnings of people. So this was as a part of the fellowship. The paper was the outcome of a study carried out in Princeton University using American data of the 1970s, mid-1970s. And they had studied the life earnings of school dropouts, high school graduates, degree holders, postgraduates, and PhDs. And they found that the returns to investment in education was twice as much as returns to investment in general, economic activities. Very high, 2.3% returns to investment in education. The examples of 2 persons were given. One was Bill Gates. You remember him? Of Microsoft. Bill Gates and Paul Allen. These 2 guys had school education, very high quality school education, but from the university they were dropouts. They didn't have any university degrees. They founded the Microsoft Corporation in Albuquerque, in New Mexico in America in 1975. And within a few years, they had become, worldwide mentioned 2 successful persons in the United States. 2 school dropouts, only school education was there, no university education, no degree, no PhDs and so on. But they had by then earned the epithet of information technology geniuses. So investment in education and health services for public, for development of human resource in Ladakh is very important. Now, the challenge of rising unemployment in Ladakh. In respect of literacy, as I said, Ladakhi school districts have done fairly well. But the employment of educated youth was not keeping pace with the literacy level of the district. That means, our education was required to be of better quality and more skill development. This is what is required to be done in Ladakh to make the employability of the educated lot of Ladakh, not only in Ladakh, but outside Ladakh in the country and abroad. Now, steps required to address the lingering challenges. Ladakh has become a union territory now, and funds have started flowing in unprecedented levels. Now, the Ladakh UT administration is required to strengthen its governing mechanism in some of the important departments and their subordinate organizations and institutions. Identify their potentials and their problems, and then try to address these by spending the funds available now in huge measures. Now, some of the specific recommendations that's coming out of this, as Dr. Javed Naki had said in the morning, to create incubation centers in the two campuses of Ladakh, to give fillip to entrepreneurship development in Ladakh, so that people can at least set up industries which are local skill-based, or which are local raw material-based, like handicrafts and handlooms. So incubation centers in the two universities campuses and the degree colleges. The secondary schools, the colleges and the university are required to be staffed and equipped appropriately so that you produce better skilled educated lot from Ladakh, so they can participate in economic measures in Ladakh and other parts of the country. This is very important because in the coming year, Ladakh itself will not be able to absorb the educated youth of Ladakh in Ladakh itself. So you have to prepare them for competition in other jobs in the other parts of the country. Now, since it is a gathering of Ladakhi youth and students particularly, I would like to share with them one of my long-held beliefs, which is mantra of success in life. My mantra of success in life is respect for time and persistent hard work. Respect for time and persistent hard work. Now, one should be translating this mantra into what one should be telling oneself over and over again. When the going is good, don't pause and relax, go the extra mile. When feelings are high and positive, work overtime. This is the translation of this mantra into reality. Now, respect for time. One should always be respecting time is very important. Respect for time means making best use of the available time for productive progress. Those who do not respect time, time punishes them in various ways without their knowing that they have been punished. Now, what is time management? Management of time means performing tasks, organizing productive events to make the most productive use of available time. And the way of managing time is preparing a checklist of things to be done daily and doing them accordingly. Making a work schedule every day and sticking to this. Setting calendars of tasks and events for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year, and for a professional life. And sticking to this. Now, time budgeting. One should budget every hour, every day, every month, every professional life, right at the beginning of the period, so that you can utilize the times appropriately for achieving your ambitions in life. Respect for time is important for achieving your ambitions in life, so that there is no difference between your ambitions and your achievements in life. Now, time is a resource available to everyone and everywhere in equal measure. It is unlike the other resources. What are the other resources? Natural endowment like water, air, and land. Wealth of various kinds like money and properties. Human and animal goodwill, these are all other resources which we need. Now, the other resources are available to different people at different places in different measures. Time is a resource which is available to all individuals and at all places in equal measure. And therefore, the importance of utilizing time, because if you can't deposit time and withdraw it at later stage, unutilized time goes waste. Thus, some people may utilize the available time gainfully, others may while away the time and squander it. Now, persistent hard work. What does persistent hard work mean? Hard work is making maximum use of the available time for a productive purpose. It is the opposite of laziness, whiling away or squandering time. There is a saying, hard work is hard, but no stone can hope to become a fine statue by avoiding the hardship of chiseling and hammering of the sculpture. So hard work is very important, but it has to be persistent hard work. Persistence means the feeling and the quality of a human being to continue to do something which is very difficult, unpleasant, or opposed by other people. So persistent hard work and respect for time is the mantra of success in life. There is a proverb on persistence of hard work. A river cuts through hard rocks, not because of its force, but because of its persistence. You might have seen at the riverbed, round stones are always there. These are cut from rocks from the mountains. But these rocks have been, persistently rolled by the water for, I think, thousands of years. And they become like eggs, round stones. Persistence is very important. Persistent hard work is very important for success in life. Persistent hard work and respect for time. The correlation between work, happiness, and success. It has been found that there is a correlation between hard work, happiness. The happier a person, the harder is the work he can endure, and successful is the outcome of work. It is my personal experience that if you work hard for a few hours in a day early in the morning, you remain happy for the whole day. And whatever you do during the remaining day, you are successful at it. You can even have a good night's sleep to freshen up for the next day. So similarly, hard work of a few days in a month will keep you happy for the whole month. And whatever you do during the month, you will be successful in that. And it goes on like this for a year and for a professional life. If you work hard for a few years, crucial years in your life, you'll be successful in your whole profession. Whatever you do during the remaining years of your profession, you'll be successful in it. So there's a correlation between this, hard work, happiness, and success in life, which is, I think, what I have observed in my life. Now, with the improved literacy and skill development in the region, Ladakhi youth are writing the national level examinations and the tests for entry to the various institutions, technical institutions and universities in larger numbers. And these examinations and tests are preceded by very intensive coaching through private coaching institutions at very high prices. Some of the bright students and some of the bright youth of Ladakh are not able to afford the high cost of intensive coaching. And therefore, I would request the UT Ladakh, meet the LG or the CECs. I would definitely talk to them about this. When I was writing the civil services exam in 1981, the entire cost of the coaching was met by the J&K government, subject to, of course, a merit criteria. Then it was only 60% marks in the graduate examination. Now 60% marks in graduate examination would sound very low at this point in time. So subject to a criterion of, say, 75% or 80% in the graduate examination, I think they should build into the budget of the Union Territory, into the policy of the Union Territory, to have a grant like this for deserving youth of Ladakh who are writing the civil services, the services for SSB, for the entry into the defense services, for technical institutions like for becoming doctors and engineers, and all the universities. Intensive coaching costs should be borne by the UT administration. They can afford it now, subject to a merit criterion of, say, 75% or 80%. This I'll place before them on your behalf. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for your kind words, sir. And it really touch our heart, and your advice and your experience is really helpful for us. And in spite of being poor, you have with us for the program. Thank you, Vijay Sekale.